Right now on Up with KREM, the person who will determine Spokane's health guidelines has been chosen.
The best way for me to make a contribution to the community that I really love.
Why the Spokane Regional Health District hired Dr. Frank Velasquez.
The city of Spokane has hundreds of reports of abandoned vehicles in neighborhood streets. Coming up, I'll explain what you can do if you have an abandoned vehicle in your neighborhood.
Much colder this morning as we kick things off. Chilly temperatures are in the forecast in the mornings to come before an even bigger cool down arrives this weekend.
Experience Spokane's proudest procession this weekend. This morning, we're talking with Spokane Pride's president about this year's drive-thru event.
Up with KREM begins now with Tim Pham, Channing Curtis, and Jeremy Legoo.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us here on Up with KREM. I'm Channing Curtis.
I'm Tim Pham. We want to get right to breaking news here at the 6 o'clock hour. Pfizer just asked the U.S. government to authorize its COVID vaccine for kids under 12 years old.
Now, if the FDA agrees to move forward, it will be the first COVID-19 vaccine for younger kids. The Pfizer vaccine is currently approved for people 12 and up. Last month, Pfizer reported the vaccine was safe for kids under 12. Now, they just need the authorization for it to become available.
The FDA will meet to discuss the data on October 26th, and we, of course, will keep you updated right here on Up with KREM, KREM.com, and the KREM 2 app. All right, 6 o'clock now. Let's get outside to meteorologist Jeremy Legoo. We sent him out there because it is cold, cold.
Cold. He's got on his big coat this morning.
Are you wearing two coats today? One coat. Two coats.
It's a two coats
kind of day.
It is a two coats kind of morning. It's nice and chilly outside. Temperatures have dipped just a bit here in town. We're down to 37 degrees, and it's likely our coldest reading on the thermometer this morning comes right around 7 a.m. just because of the time the sun comes up. Starting to see a little glow on the horizon here on the South Hill, but looking downtown, not really there. But what is there is some cold air. How about this? 20 degrees colder than where you sat 24 hours ago in Coeur d'Alene, 22 degrees colder in Sandpoint, 22 degrees colder in Deer Park. Oh, Moses Lake close to 20 degrees colder than where you were yesterday at this time. And that puts you down to freezing, 32 degrees there. You're in the 20s in both Coeur d'Alene and Deer Park, 32 in Sandpoint, 27 in Libby. It is a chilly morning for many of us. There is a frost advisory in place for Moses Lake. You're going, why isn't there a freeze or frost advisory elsewhere? Well, we've hit the time of year where this isn't that abnormal for most of us, but it is out in central Washington. So for you, it's frost advisory. That lasts until about 9 a.m. and it's likely you guys stay cool until about 9 a.m. What we're seeing now is clear skies overhead, and that's allowing temps to drop, so we likely dip into the mid-30s. And by this afternoon, we're up near 60. I think we could do it. I think we could hit 60. I'm excited about it. Either way, we're going to get close. Comes with plenty of sun. Just know it's cool all day long.
More than 70% of Washingtonians 12 and older are now fully vaccinated against COVID-19. Now, this milestone comes nearly 10 months after the first dose was given.
And nearly 77% of people in Washington have received at least one dose of the vaccine.
And with the Delta variant continuing to infect more people across the country, could we be closer to reaching herd immunity?
You would think with Delta being more widespread that would mean more people are infected and that we would reach herd immunity faster. But experts say infection is only one part of the equation. The other is, of course, vaccination, and perhaps more importantly, because we don't know how long antibodies last after infection. There's also the fact that children under 12 aren't able to get vaccinated. So that leaves an entire part of the population that cannot get vaccinated and that we don't want to get infected.
So an epidemiologist at UW says to get to herd immunity and life back to what they call normal, we need at least 85% of the total population being immune or vaccinated.
He thinks mandates could help us get to some level of herd immunity, but warns more people need to get it before we see a new variant.
It's possible if you allow this virus to circulate and you have people who are vaccinated or not fully vaccinated, this mutation could be more dangerous because it's getting used to the vaccine or it be developed among people who have been vaccinated. So it's very important for all of us to do our part to contain the spread of the virus in order to prevent another mutation.
Well, he also said even with winter coming and people being inside, his projections do not show a surge this winter if 95% of Americans wear a mask when they can't social distance. Dr. Frank Velasquez is Spokane's new regional health officer officially, and he will help determine Spokane's health guidelines while he's in this position.
Now, the Spokane Regional Health District voted to keep Dr. Velasquez as health officer yesterday. He's worked as the interim health officer for the last 10 months and took over the position after the controversial firing of Dr. Bob Lutz. Dr. Velasquez previously said he did not want the position permanently, but explained yesterday what changed his mind.
But the more that I spend the time with the people and what we do every day, the more I realize that this is really not only what I wanted to do, but the best way for me to make a contribution to the community that I really love.
Spokane City Council member Betsy Wilkerson telling KREM 2 Dr. Velasquez is the right fit for the job.
This process was really important to me, that we do a search to help restore confidence in the health district. With Dr. Velasquez demonstrated leadership in the community, the relationships he has made with the staff who spoke extremely highly of him.
Now, to learn more about Dr. Frank Velasquez and his role as Regional Health Officer, text SRHD to 509-448-2000. We'll send you a link right to your phone. Well, people all over Spokane are complaining about this one. It's the number of abandoned cars found on neighborhood streets.
Yeah, it's a big problem in many communities. Nicole Hernandez joining us now live to explain how the city is working to get through all of these reports, because Nicole, I'm sure they've received a lot of them.
Yeah, they definitely have. So take a look here. We've got an abandoned car just right here on the side of the road. This is my street that I live on here, and neighbors around here say this car has been here for over a year. The neighbors moved away, apparently left their car, and now they're nowhere to be found. So if you're in a situation similar to this, where you've just got a car that's been sitting there, here's what you got to do. You just got to pull out your phone and call 311. That will take you to the city where you can file a report.
It is a burnt out vehicle.
Now, the city of Spokane has been trying to get caught up on the abandoned vehicle reports they have stacked up. Spokane police spent 3 weeks helping parking enforcement respond to reports. With the police help, they knocked out 700 reports, almost half of what they had stacked up, but they are always getting more cases.
In the same time frame, we also got a lot more complaints submitted. So I would say that that the volume is consistent. Resources are still a challenge.
Now, if you have an abandoned car in your neighborhood, here's what you need to do. Either call 311 or use the My Spokane app. Give as much detail in the report as you can. It'll help enforcement do their job. Then parking enforcement will come out and put a warning on the car. After a few warnings and tickets, if the owners don't move the car, they will start the towing process. That process can take a while though, because the city has many reports. One thing people should know though is instead of abandoning your car, you can actually get money for it. There are services like Cash for Cars that will pay you to come and tow your car away. They'll pretty much take any car, even if it's damaged, and even though they prefer it, you actually don't have to have the title or the keys. So if you have a car that you're just not sure what to do with, don't abandon it, don't just leave it on the street. Try to reach out to one of those companies. It will not only help the city, but also get you a little bit of extra cash in your pocket. Live in Spokane, I'm Nicole Hernandez.
Some good advice. Time now for your morning rush. More news in less time.
Pullman police are currently looking for a missing teenager. 17-year-old Casey Ross was last seen around midnight near Lost Trail Drive. Now, police don't know what type of clothing that she was wearing, but they believe she may be heading towards Cul-de-sac, Idaho. If you have any information as to where she might be, please call the number right there on your screen.
And we have an update in the case of a missing Coeur d'Alene woman. 62-year-old Sharon Archer was last seen by her husband last Monday night at their home. Surveillance video showed her at a gas station a little after midnight on the night she went missing. Video shows her getting out of her car and then she heads southbound on 3rd Street. Police consider her in danger due to a medical condition. Both police and her family don't know where she could be and has a history of becoming easily disoriented. Anyone with information about her whereabouts is encouraged to call the number there at the bottom of your screen.
If you're an Idaho resident planning on voting this November, registration ends this Friday. To vote in Idaho, you must register online by midnight or in person by 5 p.m. Friday, October 8th is officially 25 days before Election Day, and you can register to vote by mail, but it must be postmarked by this Friday. So to check your registration status or to register right now, you can either go to the website listed on your screen. Vote.org will also give you voting information listed by state. And that's your Morning Rush. More news in less time. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood by using the hashtag #UpWithKREM on social media.
We're just getting started here on the news at 6. Spokane Pride is this weekend at the arena, and this morning we are live with an organizer from the event on what people can expect from this year's festivities. An interview coming up next.
And we're talking a cool forecast in the week ahead, even colder than it is today and will be tomorrow. I've got the details after the break.